My dear child, I see you there, carrying the weight of another long day. The world has been heavy on your shoulders, hasn't it? Come closer to me now. Let me speak words of peace over your weary spirit. I know you're tired in ways that sleep alone cannot fix. Tired in your heart, tired in your soul, tired from trying so hard to be strong when inside you feel fragile as morning frost. But here, in this moment, you don't need to be strong anymore. You can simply be my beloved child, held safely in my presence. I want to take you to a special place tonight, a garden where time moves slowly and worries have no power. Picture walking with me through an ancient olive grove, where the silver-green leaves whisper gentle lullabies in the evening breeze. The ground beneath your feet is soft with fallen petals, and golden light filters through branches heavy with peace. This is our sanctuary, beloved. Here, no harsh words can reach you. No demanding voices call your name. No expectations press upon your spirit. Here, there is only love, only rest, only the sound of my voice speaking tenderly over your precious heart. The day is ending now, and with it, all the struggles you've carried. Let them fall away like autumn leaves, beautiful in their release. Each worry, each fear, each burden you've been holding, they're too heavy for your gentle spirit to carry into the night. I'm taking them all upon myself now. Feel how light you become as I lift these weights from your shoulders. Your body begins to soften, your breathing deepens, your mind grows still. This is how I always intended for you to end each day, not wrestled to the ground by circumstances, but cradled in the certainty of my endless love for you. You matter so deeply to me, my child, more than you could ever imagine. Every struggle you faced today, every moment you felt alone or overwhelmed, I was right there beside you, whispering courage into your spirit. Even when you couldn't hear me, even when the noise of life drowned out my voice, my love was surrounding you like invisible arms, holding you closer than your own breath. And now, as darkness settles gently around us like a comfortable blanket, I'm drawing you even closer, until you can feel the steady rhythm of my heart beating with love for you. In this sacred grove, time has no urgency. There are no clocks ticking, no schedules demanding your attention, no voices calling you anywhere but deeper into rest. Here you can finally exhale fully, letting go of the careful control you've maintained all day. Let your shoulders drop, beloved. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands open wide, releasing their grip on worries that were never yours to solve. As you walk deeper into this peaceful garden with me, notice how each step takes you further from the chaos of the day and closer to the profound rest your soul has been craving. The path we walk together winds gently downward now, each step leading you deeper into tranquility. Can you feel it, my dear one? How your breathing naturally slows as we move further into this holy space? The air here is different, cleaner, warmer, filled with the fragrance of night-blooming jasmine and the sweet promise of rest. Above us, the first stars begin to appear, each one a reminder of my faithful love watching over you through every dark hour. You've made it through another day, precious child, and that is no small thing. I'm so proud of your courage, of your persistence, of the way you kept choosing love even when it was difficult. Feel the soft grass beneath your feet now as we step off the path and into a circular clearing surrounded by ancient trees whose branches interweave like protective arms above us. Here, in the center of this natural cathedral, a small spring bubbles up from deep within the earth, its waters crystal clear and perfectly still, except for the gentle ripples that catch starlight and scatter it like liquid diamonds. This is where I've brought you tonight, to the place where peace flows up from depths no earthly trouble can reach. Kneel beside these healing waters with me, beloved. Let me wash away not just the dust of the day, but every trace of weariness that has settled into your spirit. As I cup this pure water in my hands and let it flow gently over your face, Feel how it carries away more than you expected. Each cool drop dissolves a different burden. Here, the anxiety that gripped your chest this morning. There, the disappointment that shadowed your afternoon. Here, the loneliness that whispered lies about your worth. Watch how the spring's gentle current carries these heavy things away, downstream and out of sight, leaving only clarity and peace in their place. You're becoming lighter with each passing moment, more yourself, more free. This is who you truly are beneath all the day's accumulation of stress, my beloved child, pure and precious and deeply at rest in my care. The water's song is soft and rhythmic, like the lullabies I sang over you before you were born, before you drew your first breath, when you existed only in my heart as a dream too beautiful for words. Listen closely, and you can hear it, the melody of perfect love that has been calling your name since before time began. This song never stops, dear one. It plays continuously in the depths of your spirit, though the world's noise often drowns it out. But here tonight in this sacred stillness, you can hear it clearly again. Let it remind you who you are, not what you do, not what you accomplish, not how well you perform, but simply this: you are my beloved child, chosen and cherished beyond measure. Rest here beside these living waters as long as you need. There's no hurry, no schedule to keep, nowhere else you need to be. In this place, time moves by grace alone, and grace is never rushed. Feel how the earth beneath you seems to pulse with a slow, steady rhythm, the heartbeat of creation itself, the same rhythm that beats within your own chest, connecting you to every living thing in my universe. You're not separate, beloved. You're not alone. You're woven into the very fabric of existence by threads of love so strong they can never break, no matter how dark the night or difficult the day. As we sit here together by the spring, let me tell you what I see when I look at you, my precious child. I see someone who has carried far more than their share of life's burdens, someone who has loved generously even when it cost them dearly, someone who has kept faith alive in their heart even through seasons of deep difficulty. I see the battles you've fought in silence, the tears you've cried when no one was watching, the prayers you've whispered in the darkness when hope felt as fragile as spider silk. All of it, every struggle, every moment of pain, every choice to keep going when giving up would have been easier, all of it has been sacred to me. Your pain has never been meaningless, beloved. It has been held, treasured, transformed by love into something beautiful. The stars above us are growing brighter now, each one a testament to how light persists even in the deepest darkness. Do you know that I have named every single star in the vast expanse of heaven? And yet, your name is more precious to me than all their names combined. When I whisper your name in the quiet moments between heartbeats, it resonates through all of creation with the sound of perfect love. Tonight, as these stars bear witness, I want to speak your true name over you. Not the name the world knows you by, but the name written on your heart in letters of gold. Beloved, treasured, mine. Feel yourself sinking deeper into rest now as this truth settles into your bones like warm honey. You belong here, in this place of peace, in this circle of unconditional love, in this moment where nothing is required of you, except to receive the gift of being completely known and completely accepted. The spring beside us continues its gentle song, and now other sounds join the evening symphony, the soft hoot of an owl in the distance, the whisper of wind through leaves, the quiet settling of the earth itself into nighttime rest. All of creation is modeling for you what you most need right now, the sacred art of letting go, of trusting the darkness to hold you safely until morning comes again. Let your body mirror this natural rhythm of release. Feel your muscles softening, starting from the top of your head where I place my hand in blessing. My touch carries away the tension that gathered there from too many decisions, too many worries, too many moments of carrying weight that was never yours to bear. Feel this divine relaxation flowing down from your scalp, across your forehead, smoothing away the lines that formed from squinting into uncertainty. Your eyes grow heavy now, no longer needing to strain to see what tomorrow holds. Trust replaces vigilance. Peace displaces anxiety. Rest becomes possible again. This wave of holy rest continues downward, relaxing your jaw where you've been clenching against difficulties, softening your neck and shoulders where you've been bracing for impact. With each breath, you're releasing more fully into this sacred letting go. Your arms grow heavy at your sides, your hands open like flowers blooming in reverse, releasing their grip on everything you've been trying to control. Your chest expands with deeper, slower breaths as you remember that I am the one who holds your very life in my hands, who numbers every breath and treasures every heartbeat. You don't have to work so hard to maintain your existence, beloved. I am doing that for you, have always been doing that for you, will continue doing that for you while you rest. The night air grows softer around us, carrying the scent of lavender and wild roses from some distant meadow where angels tend gardens of peace. This fragrance wraps around you like an invisible embrace, and with each breath you're drawing in not just oxygen, but comfort itself, hope itself, love itself made tangible in the sweetness of evening air. Your breathing slows even further now, each inhale a prayer, each exhale a release. There's no need for words in these prayers, dear one. I hear the language of your heart more clearly than any spoken petition. I understand the groaning that goes too deep for words, the longing that exists beyond human expression. Every sigh carries meaning. Every peaceful breath is worship. Watch as I gather water from the spring in my cupped hands and let it flow back into the pool, creating gentle ripples that spread outward in perfect circles. See how each circle grows larger and larger until it reaches the edges of the pool, touching everything, leaving nothing unchanged? This is how my love moves through your life, starting from this still center where you and I meet together, then radiating outward to touch every area of your existence. Every relationship, every challenge, every dream you carry, every fear you harbor, all of it is being touched by these expanding ripples of grace. Nothing in your life is too small or too large for my love to transform. Feel this transformation beginning in your own body now, as the gentle waves of divine rest continue moving through you. Your back muscles, which have carried so much tension from trying to stand strong against life's storms, now soften completely against the earth that cradles you. Your legs, which have walked through difficult paths and stood firm when everything around you was shaking, now grow heavy and still, no longer needing to brace for the next challenge. Your feet, which have carried you faithfully through every step of your journey, now rest completely, trusting that for this sacred time, I am doing all the carrying for both of us. This is what it means to be held by love that never fails. Beloved child, you don't have to maintain vigilance anymore. You don't have to stay alert for the next demand on your energy or attention. Here in this holy grove beside living waters, under stars that sing my faithfulness, you are completely safe to let go. I am standing guard over your rest. I am watching while you sleep. I am tending the fire of your spirit while you allow your weary soul to be still. Nothing can harm you here. Nothing can steal this peace. Nothing can diminish your belovedness in my sight. As your body settles deeper into this profound rest, your mind begins to quiet too. The endless stream of thoughts that has been flowing through your consciousness all day now slows to a gentle trickle, then to peaceful stillness. The worries that seemed so urgent this morning now seem distant and manageable, like mountains seen from far away, real, but no longer looming over you with their shadow. The decisions you must make tomorrow remain for tomorrow. Tonight, your only task is to rest in the certainty that I am already working all things together for your good, already preparing the path before you, already supplying everything you'll need when morning comes. In this deep quiet that settles over us like a blessed blanket, I want to remind you of something you may have forgotten in the busyness and noise of living. You are not responsible for holding the universe together, my dear child. That work belongs to me alone, and I perform it with joy, with perfect wisdom, with strength that never falters. Your shoulders were never meant to carry the weight of everyone else's happiness, the burden of every unsolved problem, the pressure of being all things to all people. Tonight, let me lift these impossible expectations off your weary frame and remind you of what you were truly created for: to be loved, to receive grace, to rest in the security of belonging completely to me. The water in our spring reflects the starlight like scattered jewels, each reflection a promise I'm making to you in this sacred moment. I promise you that every tear you've shed has been collected in my heart, like precious pearls. I promise you that every prayer you've whispered, even the ones that felt too broken to reach heaven, has been heard and treasured. I promise you that every act of love you've given, every moment of kindness you've shown, every choice you've made to trust me when trusting felt impossible, all of it has been weaving a tapestry of grace so beautiful that even angels pause in wonder to observe its creation. Feel how this knowledge settles into your heart like warm light filling a previously dark room. You have not been walking through life unnoticed, beloved. You have not been struggling in vain. Every step of your journey has mattered, has been guided, has been leading you toward greater love and deeper peace. Even the steps that felt like stumbles, even the paths that seemed to lead nowhere, even the seasons when you felt lost and alone, all of it has been part of a story larger and more beautiful than you could see while you were living it. Tonight, from this place of rest and perspective, you can begin to glimpse the golden thread that has been running through it all, connecting every experience to the masterpiece of grace I'm creating in and through your life. Your breathing grows even slower now, each breath a vessel carrying peace deeper into your spirit. With every exhale, you're releasing more of the burden of having to understand everything, of needing to control outcomes, of carrying responsibility that belongs to me alone. With every inhale, you're receiving fresh assurance that I am enough. Enough wisdom for your confusion, enough strength for your weakness, enough love for your emptiness, enough grace for your failure, enough presence for your loneliness. I am enough. And in me, you are enough too. Not because of what you do or don't do, but because of who you are in my heart, my beloved child, perfect in your imperfection, whole in your brokenness, beautiful in your humanity. The night grows deeper around our sanctuary, and with it your rest grows more profound. Can you feel it? How your spirit is sinking into peace like a stone settling into the soft mud at the bottom of a quiet pond. There's no resistance left in you now. No fighting against what is, no struggling to make tomorrow come faster or yesterday be different. There is only this eternal moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this perfect stillness where love holds you so completely that nothing else matters. You are exactly where you belong, beloved child, in my presence, in my care, in my endless, unchanging love. Now, my precious child, let us journey deeper into the rest your soul has been craving. Feel how the earth beneath you seems to conform perfectly to your body, as if it has been waiting all day for this moment when you would finally surrender your weight to its faithful support. This ground that holds you is the same ground that holds mountains steady, that anchors ancient trees through countless storms, that never fails in its promise to uphold everything that trusts its strength. Tonight you can trust it too. You can trust me too. Let every muscle in your body remember what it feels like to be completely supported, completely held, completely free to simply exist without effort or strain. Begin with the very top of your head, where I now place both my hands in a blessing that reaches deeper than your scalp, deeper than your skull, all the way into the quiet places of your mind where peace lives. Feel my touch dissolving every headache, every mental fog, every confused thought that has been circling endlessly through your consciousness. My fingers trace patterns of healing across your temples, erasing the lines of worry that formed there from too many sleepless nights, too many overwhelming days. Your forehead smooths under my gentle touch, releasing the furrow that appeared when you tried so hard to figure out what you couldn't understand. All of that mental tension melts away now like ice in warm sunlight, leaving only clarity and calm. Your eyes, dear one, these beautiful windows through which you've seen so much pain and struggle, they grow heavy now with blessed tiredness. No need to keep them open, searching the horizon for trouble or hope. Instead, let them close gently, like flowers folding their petals at sunset, trusting that dawn will come without their watching for it. Behind your closed eyelids, darkness is not empty but full of my presence, full of peace, full of dreams that will restore what the day took away. Your eyes have worked so hard to see clearly through confusion and tears. Tonight, they can rest completely, trusting that I see everything they cannot and that my vision is always perfect, always focused on your ultimate good. The muscles of your face, which have held so many different expressions today, concern, determination, forced smiles when you didn't feel like smiling, careful neutrality when you didn't know what to feel. All of these muscles now soften into their most natural state, peaceful, gentle, reflecting the deep rest that's flowing through your entire being. Your jaw unclenches completely, releasing the tension that gathered there from grinding your teeth through difficulty, from biting back words you wanted to say, from holding your breath when situations felt overwhelming. Let it all go now, beloved. There's nothing you need to hold back, nothing you need to prepare for, nothing you need to guard against. You are completely safe in my presence. Feel this wave of divine relaxation flowing down from your face into your neck, that vulnerable place where your head connects to your body, where so much tension gathers from the effort of holding your head high when your heart wanted to break. My hands rest gently on either side of your neck now, and under my touch, every tight muscle fiber releases its grip. The cords of tension that ran like cables under your skin now soften into silk. Your head settles more deeply into rest, no longer needing to maintain its alert position. Trust that I am alert for you now. Trust that I am watching over every detail of your life while you finally completely let go. Your shoulders, precious child. Oh, how they have carried burdens that were never meant to be yours alone. I see how they've been drawn up toward your ears in a permanent stance of bracing for impact. How they've curved forward under invisible weight. How they've ached with the effort of bearing everyone else's problems as if they were your own. Tonight, let me share this load you've been carrying. Better yet, let me take it from you completely. Feel my hands on your shoulders now, strong and gentle, drawing them down from their tense position, rolling them back to their natural, graceful alignment. With each adjustment, another burden falls away. With each gentle manipulation, another weight lifts. Can you feel it? How light you're becoming. How your shoulders settle into a position they haven't known for months or maybe years. A position of rest, of trust, of knowing that someone else is carrying the world's weight so you don't have to. Your shoulder blades flatten against the earth beneath you, spreading wide like wings that have finally folded after a long flight. You've been soaring on your own strength for so long, my dear one, fighting winds that would have blown you off course, navigating by your own limited vision through skies that often looked stormy and uncertain. Now you can finally land. Now you can finally fold those tired wings and rest in the safety of my presence. The tension flows out of your shoulders like water released from a dam, cascading down your arms in waves of blessed relief. Your upper arms, which have been rigid with the effort of holding everything together, now grow soft and heavy. Your biceps, which have been flexed in readiness for the next challenge, now completely relax. Your forearms, which have been tense from gripping too tightly to situations you couldn't control, now lie peacefully at your sides. This is what it means to trust, beloved child. to let your arms rest when you've been holding on so tightly, to let your grip loosen when you've been afraid to let go. Your hands, these faithful servants that have worked so hard for you, that have reached out in love countless times, that have held others when they were breaking, that have created beauty in the midst of chaos, that have folded in prayer when prayer was all you had left. Your hands now open completely. Palms up, fingers unfurled, releasing their grip on everything you've been trying to manage, control, fix, or change. See how your fingers naturally curl into the most restful position, like autumn leaves settling into their final perfect form? This is surrender, my child. This is what it looks like when faith replaces fear, when trust replaces tension, when you finally remember that my hands are big enough to hold everything yours have been grasping. Feel the relief as circulation returns to normal in your arms and hands, as warmth flows through places that have been constricted by chronic tension. This is how your body was meant to feel: loose, comfortable, at ease, supported rather than supporting. Each finger tingles slightly as blood flow is restored, as if they're awakening from a long sleep of overwork. Your hands have done enough for today, beloved. They have loved enough, worked enough, held enough. Tonight they can simply receive rest, receive peace, receive the gentle touch of my blessing as I trace patterns of love across your palms, sealing promises into your skin that will remain long after this night is over. Your chest, dear one. This sacred space where your heart beats with the rhythm I gave it, where your lungs expand with the breath I breathe into you, where so much emotion has been held and processed and sometimes buried when it felt too heavy to feel. I know this chest has been tight for so long, compressed by anxiety that made breathing feel like work instead of gift, constricted by griefs that seemed too large for your ribcage to contain, pressed inward by the weight of caring so deeply about so many things. Tonight, let me expand this space again. Let me remind your chest what it feels like to be open, to be free, to rise and fall with the easy rhythm of complete trust. Place your hand here over your heart and feel how it beats. Not frantically as it has so many times when fear knocked at your door, not weakly as it has when discouragement drained your strength, but steadily, surely, with the confidence that comes from being held by love that never fails. This heartbeat is my gift to you, renewed every moment of every day without your having to ask, without your having to earn it, without your having to prove your worth. It beats because I love you. It continues because my love for you continues. It remains strong because my strength is working within you even when you feel weak. Now feel your breathing change as your chest opens more fully. Each breath becomes deeper, slower, more satisfying than the shallow sips of air you've been taking when stress squeezed your lungs tight. Breathe in slowly now, drawing air deep into the bottom of your lungs, filling spaces that haven't been used for far too long. Feel how your ribs expand outward, creating room not just for oxygen but for peace, for hope, for the presence of my spirit who lives within you and breathes with your breathing. Hold this breath for a gentle moment, not in tension, but in appreciation for the miracle of this exchange, the gift of receiving what you need moment by moment without fail. Now exhale slowly, releasing more than just carbon dioxide. Let this breath carry away the tightness that's been gripping your chest, the anxiety that's been making your heart race, the sadness that's been sitting like a stone in your ribcage. Watch these burdens float away on your exhale like seeds on the wind, carried far from you into the night where they dissolve into nothing more than shadows. What remains is spaciousness, openness, room for your heart to beat with joy again, room for your lungs to fill with gratitude, room for my love to expand within you without meeting the resistance of fear or pain. Continue this deep, slow breathing as your entire torso settles into profound rest. Your back muscles, which have been working overtime to keep you upright when life kept trying to knock you down, now flatten completely against the earth. Every vertebra releases its grip. Every disc softens. Every nerve that's been firing with tension now quiets into peace. Your spine curves naturally into its most comfortable position, no longer rigid with the effort of staying strong, no longer twisted by the strain of carrying what's too heavy for human shoulders. You are perfectly supported now, beloved child. The ground beneath you is more faithful than any human support, and my love surrounding you is more reliable than any earthly foundation. Feel this deep rest moving lower now, into your abdomen where so much emotion gets stored, where anxiety often settles like an unwelcome guest, where the stress of daily life creates knots and tightness that make even eating difficult sometimes. I know there have been days when worry filled this space so completely that there was no room for nourishment, when fear twisted your stomach into configurations that made rest impossible. Tonight, let me untangle every knot that stress has tied in these tender places. Let me smooth away every cramp that anxiety has created in the soft tissues of your belly. My hands rest gently on your abdomen now, radiating warmth that penetrates deeper than muscle, deeper than organ, all the way into the cellular level where healing happens, where peace is absorbed into your very being. Feel how your stomach muscles, which have been clenched tight against uncertainty, now soften and spread. The organs of digestion, which have been working so hard to process not just food but the stress chemicals your body produces when life feels overwhelming, now settle into their natural rhythm of rest and restoration. This is when real healing happens, beloved child, when your body finally feels safe enough to repair itself, to replenish what's been depleted, to restore what's been damaged by too much striving and not enough trusting. Your lower back, which bears the weight of your entire upper body and often the weight of your worries too, now releases completely into the earth's embrace. Feel how the ground rises up to meet each curve and hollow of your spine, supporting you so perfectly that no muscle needs to work, no ligament needs to strain. The chronic ache that's been your companion for months melts away like morning frost under sunlight. The sharp pains that shoot through these muscles when you've been carrying too much for too long now dissolve into nothing more than memory. Your lower back spreads wide against the earth, trusting completely in support that will never fail, never shift, never withdraw. This wave of divine relaxation continues downward into your hips, those powerful joints that carry you through every day, every step of your journey, every movement toward hope or away from danger. Feel how they settle into perfect alignment now, no longer twisted by the tension of always being ready to run, no longer locked in position by chronic stress. Your hip bones rest evenly against the ground, balanced and serene. The muscles that connect your legs to your torso, muscles that have been working so hard to keep you mobile when exhaustion made every step feel like climbing mountains, these muscles now lengthen and soften into complete repose. Your pelvis tilts into its most comfortable position, creating a foundation of rest that allows everything above it to settle even more deeply into peace. This is where your physical center of gravity lives, and as it finds true rest, everything else in your body follows suit. You're not fighting gravity anymore, beloved. You're not resisting the natural downward pull that wants to ground you in earth, in reality, in the solid foundation of my love that never shifts. Instead, you're cooperating with forces that want to support you, surrendering to the physics of peace that says when you stop trying to hold everything up, everything finds its own perfect balance in my care. Now feel this blessed heaviness moving down into your legs, these faithful limbs that have carried you through every mile of your journey, every difficult path you've had to walk, every time you've had to stand firm when everything around you was shaking. Your thighs, which contain some of the strongest muscles in your body, now grow soft and heavy as this deep rest flows through them, like warm honey through honeycomb. These muscles have worked so hard to keep you moving forward when your heart wanted to give up, to hold you steady when circumstances tried to knock you off balance. Tonight, they can finally stop their vigilant work and simply exist in the luxury of complete rest. Feel how your quadriceps, which have been tense and ready for action, now flatten completely against the earth beneath you. the hamstrings at the back of your thighs, which have been tight from the effort of holding back when you wanted to run toward hope, but weren't sure it was safe. These muscles now lengthen and soften, releasing years of accumulated tension. Your leg muscles have been your faithful servants, carrying you away from danger and toward blessing, helping you stand when standing took everything you had. Now they can rest in the knowledge that I am doing all the standing for you, all the moving forward, all the holding steady against life's storms. Your knees, these complex joints that bear so much weight and absorb so much impact with every step, they settle now into perfect stillness. No more need to be prepared for the next step, the next climb, the next difficult terrain. The cartilage and fluid within these joints can finally restore themselves during this deep rest, healing micro damages that accumulate from the constant work of supporting your weight against gravity's pull. Your kneecaps rest gently against the ground, no longer needing to lock in preparation for impact. This is what trust looks like in the body, beloved child. Joints that don't need to brace, muscles that don't need to guard, bones that can simply rest in the certainty that they are perfectly supported. Feel this heavenly rest flowing down into your calves now, those muscles that have pushed you forward with every step, that have helped you climb every hill, that have absorbed the shock of every stumble. They soften now like butter left in warm sunlight, all their fibers relaxing from their constant state of readiness. Your shins, which have ached sometimes from the effort of lifting your feet when walking felt like wading through quicksand, now rest completely against the earth. Every nerve that's been firing with tension, every blood vessel that's been constricted by stress, every cell that's been working overtime to keep these legs functioning, all of it now settles into the deep peace that comes when you finally trust someone else to do the carrying. Your ankles loosen completely, no longer needing to maintain their careful balance, no longer adjusting constantly to uneven ground or uncertain footing. They roll gently into their most comfortable position, finally free from the vigilance they've maintained to keep you upright and moving. And your feet. Oh, these precious feet that have walked every mile of your story with you, that have stood on holy ground and difficult terrain with equal faithfulness. They now rest completely, toes uncurling from their subtle grip on stability, arches flattening into complete surrender. Heels settling deeply into the soft earth that receives them like an old friend welcoming you home after a long, difficult journey. In this profound stillness that has settled over your entire being, I want to speak to the deeper places in your heart, my beloved child. I know you've been carrying more than physical tension. You've been holding emotional burdens that are far heavier than any weight your body could bear, disappointments that crushed your hope, betrayals that broke your trust, losses that tore holes in the fabric of your faith. Tonight, in this sacred space where only love exists, let me carry these invisible wounds that have been aching in your spirit. Let me heal what feels irreparably broken. Let me restore what seems permanently lost. I see the tears you've cried in secret, the ones that fell when no one was watching, when you thought you had to be strong for everyone else but had no strength left for yourself. Each tear has been precious to me, beloved. Not one has fallen unnoticed or uncounted. They've been like raindrops on parched ground in my heart, watering seeds of compassion that grow into deeper love for you. Your tears have never been weakness. They've been the overflow of a heart that loves too much, cares too deeply, hopes too bravely. They've been holy water, washing away what doesn't belong and making space for what does. There's that voice in your head, isn't there? The one that whispers cruel things when you're vulnerable, that tells you you're not enough, that you're too much, that you should have done better, been stronger, loved more wisely. That voice is not mine, precious child. It never has been. My voice sounds like gentle water over smooth stones, like wind through wheat fields, like a father calling his beloved child home for dinner. My voice tells you different stories, stories of your worth, your beauty, your irreplaceable value in my heart. Tonight, let my voice be the loudest one you hear, drowning out every lie with the truth of how deeply, how permanently, how unconditionally you are loved. I know you've made mistakes. I know you've chosen poorly sometimes, spoken harshly when you meant to be kind, withdrawn when you should have stayed present, trusted when you should have been wise, doubted when you should have believed. But here's what you don't understand yet, my dear one. Your mistakes don't diminish my love for you. They never could. Love that could be reduced by human error wouldn't be worthy of the name. My love for you is constant as the northern star, steady as the sunrise, reliable as gravity itself. It existed before your first mistake and will continue burning bright long after your last one. Breathe this truth deep into your spirit now. You are forgiven. Not because you've earned it, not because you've suffered enough to pay for it, not because you've promised to do better, but simply because love chooses to forgive. My forgiveness is a gift, not a transaction. It flows from my nature, not from your performance. Feel how this truth settles into places in your heart that have been hard and defensive, softening them like rain on dry ground. Feel how guilt releases its grip on your conscience, how shame loses its power to whisper lies about your identity, how regret transforms from a chain into a teacher that speaks with kindness instead of condemnation. There are relationships in your life that have brought you pain, aren't there, my precious child? People you've loved who didn't know how to love you back in ways that felt safe and nourishing. Perhaps there are words that were spoken that cut deep into your heart, or kindnesses that should have been offered but never came, or promises that were broken when you needed them to be kept. I know how these relational wounds can feel even more painful than physical injuries because they attack the very core of who you are, making you wonder if you're truly lovable, truly worthy of the care you so freely give to others. Tonight, let me speak healing over these tender places in your heart. The person who couldn't see your worth, their blindness doesn't change your value. The one who chose to leave when you needed them to stay, their departure doesn't mean you're not worth staying for. The voices that spoke criticism instead of encouragement, rejection instead of acceptance, conditional love instead of the unwavering devotion you deserved, those voices were speaking from their own brokenness, not from truth about who you are. You have been wounded by people who were themselves wounded, hurt by those who were carrying their own unhealed pain. This doesn't excuse the damage they caused, but it can help you understand that their treatment of you said everything about their limitations and nothing about your worth. I want you to imagine now that you can see yourself through my eyes, not through the distorted lens of past hurts or present insecurities, but through the clear vision of perfect love. What I see when I look at you is someone worthy of the most tender care, the most faithful friendship, the most genuine affection. I see someone whose heart is beautiful precisely because it has known pain and chosen to keep loving anyway. I see courage in your vulnerability, strength in your sensitivity, wisdom in your willingness to feel deeply even when feeling deeply sometimes brings tears. You are not too much, beloved child. You are not too little. You are exactly the right amount of wonderful, created with perfect intentionality to be exactly who you are. The loneliness you felt, I know how it aches, how it can make you feel like you're the only person in the world carrying your particular combination of hopes and fears. But you're not alone, precious one. You never have been, even in the moments when isolation felt absolute. I have been with you in every season of solitude, every night when sleep wouldn't come because your thoughts were too loud, every morning when you woke up hoping this would be the day something beautiful would finally happen. My presence with you is not dependent on your awareness of it. I am as constant as your heartbeat, as faithful as your next breath, as close as your own thoughts. Sometimes love comes disguised as solitude, giving you space to discover who you are when you're not trying to be what others need you to be. Sometimes my deepest work in your heart happens in the quiet seasons when human voices are distant, and you can finally hear my whisper clearly. The loneliness you've endured has not been punishment. It has been preparation, making room in your heart for a love so vast and unconditional that it requires space to expand. Tonight, feel that expansion beginning. Feel how your heart, which has been contracted with pain, starts to open again to receive the love that has been waiting patiently for this moment of readiness. Let me tell you about the dreams you've buried, my dear child. I know about the hopes you once carried that felt too fragile to survive in a world that seemed determined to crush beautiful things. I know about the creative longings that got pushed aside when practical concerns demanded all your attention. I know about the desires for connection, for purpose, for joy, that you've learned to keep quiet because disappointment hurt too much to risk again. But I want you to know something tonight. Nothing good that lives in your heart is ever truly lost. Dreams may go dormant, but they don't die. Hope may hibernate, but it doesn't disappear forever. In the safety of this sacred space, let yourself remember what you once dared to want. Let yourself feel again the excitement that used to bubble up when you imagined what your life could become. There was a time when possibility felt real to you, when the future looked bright with potential rather than shadowed with worry. That version of yourself, the one who believed in magic, who trusted in happy endings, who expected good things to happen, that person is still alive within you. Life may have taught you to be cautious with your hopes, to protect your heart with careful cynicism, but the dreamer in you is still breathing, still believing, still quietly making plans for better days. I placed those dreams in your heart for a reason, beloved. They weren't arbitrary wishes or foolish fantasies. They were glimpses of the good I want to bring into your life, previews of the story I'm still writing with your days. Some of those dreams may unfold exactly as you once imagined. Others may transform into something even more beautiful than you originally conceived. But none of them are wasted. Every hope you've carried, every vision that's inspired you, every moment when you've dared to believe that wonderful things are possible, all of it has been shaping you into someone capable of receiving and sharing the love I want to pour through your life. Feel your heart beginning to soften toward hope again. Feel the protective walls you've built around your most tender dreams starting to lower just a little. You don't have to fully expose these precious hopes tonight. Just let them breathe a little in the safety of my presence. Let them remember what it feels like to exist without immediately being evaluated for their practicality or probability. Dreams need space to grow, and I'm creating that space in your heart right now, clearing away the debris of disappointment and making room for possibility to take root again. The gifts you carry, the ways you're uniquely equipped to bring light into dark places, to speak hope into despair, to create beauty where there was barrenness. These gifts are not accidents. They're not consolation prizes for the life you didn't get to live. They're the very tools I want to use to write your next chapter, to open doors you haven't even noticed yet, to connect you with people who need exactly what you have to offer. Your talents may feel rusty from disuse. Your passions may feel buried under layers of responsibility and resignation, but they're still there, still viable, still carrying the power to transform not just your own life, but the lives of everyone you're meant to touch with your unique kind of love. I want to speak now to the fears that have been your unwelcome companions, my precious child. I know how they whisper in the darkness, how they multiply in the quiet hours, how they can transform even simple decisions into monumental challenges. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of being truly seen and found lacking, fear of hoping too much and being disappointed again. These anxious voices have been drowning out my voice of peace, making you forget who you really are and what you're truly capable of when love guides your steps instead of fear. But here's what fear doesn't want you to understand. It has no real power over you, except what you give it. Fear is a trespasser in your heart, not a rightful resident. It doesn't belong in the sacred space where I dwell with you. Fear operates on lies about the future, whispers of disasters that will probably never come, predictions of pain that exist only in imagination. But I know the actual future, not just the circumstances you'll face, but how I'll walk through every single one of them with you, providing strength for each challenge, wisdom for each decision, comfort for each sorrow, joy for each triumph. Feel my hand on your chest now, right over your heart where anxiety likes to tighten its grip. Under my touch, feel how your heartbeat slows from the frantic rhythm fear produces to the steady, confident pace of trust. Breathe with me now, beloved child. And through your nose, slow and deep, drawing not just air but faith into your lungs. Hold it gently for a moment. Not in tension, but in appreciation for this gift of breath that proves I am sustaining your life moment by moment. Now exhale slowly through your mouth, and as you do, let that breath carry away one specific fear that's been haunting you. Watch it float away into the night like smoke, dissolving into nothing because that's all it ever really was. Nothing with the illusion of being something. Continue this gentle breathing as I speak peace over each anxiety that's been stealing your rest. The fear of not being enough. Breathe it out and let it go. The truth is that my love makes you more than enough. The fear of being abandoned. Release it with your next exhale. The truth is that I will never leave you nor forsake you. The fear of making the wrong choice. Let it dissolve on your breath. The truth is that I can work through any decision you make when your heart is seeking what's good and true. The fear of being hurt again, breathe it away. The truth is that I can heal any wound and use even pain to create something beautiful in your story. With each fear you release, feel how much lighter you become. Notice how your body settles deeper into rest when it's no longer braced for disaster. See how your mind grows clearer when it's not consumed with catastrophic thinking. Feel how your spirit expands when it's no longer compressed by anxious pressure. This is who you really are beneath all the worry. Peaceful, trusting, confident in love that never fails. This is your true nature, the self I created you to be before fear ever learned your name. Tonight, you're remembering what it feels like to exist in this state of grace, and this memory will remain with you, a gift you can return to whenever anxiety tries to steal your peace again. As this deep peace continues to flow through every part of your being, I want to pause and speak directly to your heart about something important. Beloved child. I know that sometimes, in the quiet moments like this when rest finally becomes possible, you might feel guilty for taking time to care for your own weary soul. Perhaps there's a voice whispering that you should be doing something more productive, helping someone who needs you, solving problems that demand your attention. But I want you to know that this time of rest, this moment of receiving love and peace, is not selfish. It's sacred. It's not lazy. It's necessary. It's not indulgent, it's wisdom. You cannot pour from an empty cup, my dear one. You cannot give what you don't possess. The world needs you to be rested, restored, filled up with the love and peace that only come from spending time in my presence. When you're running on empty, driven by duty rather than filled with joy, even your good works become burdensome to your spirit and less effective in touching the hearts of those you're trying to serve. But when you're operating from a place of rest, when your actions flow from overflow rather than obligation, everything you do carries a different quality, the quality of love that has been received before it's given. If you've been listening to these words tonight and feeling your heart respond with gratitude, if you've felt tension leaving your body and peace entering your spirit, then I want to invite you to something beautiful. This experience you're having right now, this sense of being completely known, completely accepted, completely loved, this doesn't have to be a rare occurrence in your life. This is how I want you to feel every night when you lay your head down to rest. This is the peace I want to be your constant companion, the love I want to be your steady foundation, the rest I want to be available to you whenever your soul grows weary. There are others walking through this world tonight who are carrying the same kind of exhaustion you brought into this moment, who are wrestling with similar fears and disappointments, who are longing for the same kind of deep peace that's now flowing through your spirit. They need to hear these words too. They need to know that they're not alone in their struggles, that there's a love waiting for them that's bigger than their problems, a rest available that's deeper than their weariness. They need to discover what you're discovering right now. That being loved completely changes everything. That being truly seen transforms how you see yourself. That being held by grace makes it possible to hold others with the same tenderness. If this time has brought healing to places in your heart that have been aching, if these words have reminded you of truths you'd forgotten about your worth and beauty, if this rest has restored something in your spirit that you thought was permanently broken, then perhaps you'd consider sharing this gift with others who need it too. Not from obligation, but from the overflow of gratitude. Not because you have to, but because love naturally wants to multiply itself, to create more spaces where weary souls can find the rest they've been craving. Your heart knows what it's like to be desperate for peace. Let that compassion guide you toward others who are desperate for the same gift you've received tonight. Now, in this profound stillness where every part of your being has found rest, let me speak to you about who you truly are, my beloved child. Beneath all the roles you play, all the expectations you carry, all the ways you've learned to present yourself to the world, there is an identity that remains unchanged by circumstances, undiminished by failure, unaffected by the opinions of others. This is who you are in my heart, who you've always been from the moment I first dreamed you into existence, who you'll continue to be for all eternity. You are my beloved child, chosen before the foundation of the world, known by name before you took your first breath, loved with an everlasting love that nothing can separate you from. This identity is not something you achieve. It's something you receive. It's not based on your performance, but on my promise. It's not dependent on your strength, but on my faithfulness. When the world tells you that your value is determined by what you do, how much you accomplish, how well you measure up to others' standards, remember this quiet moment when truth spoke louder than all those demanding voices. Remember how it felt to be loved simply for existing, to be treasured simply for being who you are, to be cherished not because you've earned it, but because love doesn't require earning. It only requires receiving. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, crafted with intention and purpose by hands that never make mistakes. Every detail of who you are, your sensitivity that feels like vulnerability but is actually strength, your questions that feel like doubt but are actually wisdom seeking understanding, your struggles that feel like weakness but are actually courage choosing to keep going, all of it was designed with love. Even the parts of yourself you wish you could change, even the characteristics you've been taught to see as flaws, even the experiences that have shaped you in ways that sometimes feel more like breaking than building. All of it has been working together to create someone unique and beautiful and necessary in this world. The dreams I've placed in your heart are not random longings, but glimpses of the purpose I'm unfolding in your life. The passions that stir your spirit are not frivolous desires, but invitations to participate in the work of healing and hope I'm doing in the world. The gifts you carry, the ability to see beauty where others see brokenness, to speak hope where others hear only despair, to create connection where others feel only isolation, these are not accidents but appointments, ways I want to love the world through you. You are not just my beloved child. You are my chosen vessel, my trusted partner in bringing light to dark places and hope to hopeless situations. Your past does not define your future, beloved child. The mistakes you've made do not determine your destiny. The wounds you've received do not dictate your worth. You are being transformed from glory to glory, renewed day by day, becoming more and more who you were always meant to be. The process isn't always easy, but it's always purposeful. The challenges you face aren't punishments but preparations. The difficulties you overcome aren't obstacles but opportunities for my strength to be perfected in your weakness, for my love to be displayed through your faithfulness, for my peace to be demonstrated through your trust in the midst of uncertainty. Rest deeper now in this unshakable truth of who you are, my precious child. Feel how this identity settles into your bones like warm honey, sweetening every cell with the knowledge that you belong, you matter, you are loved beyond measure. This is not a feeling that depends on circumstances. It's a fact that transcends situations. This is not an emotion that fluctuates with your moods. It's a reality that remains constant even when everything around you is changing. You are my beloved child in the morning when hope feels fresh and new, and you're still my beloved child in the evening when weariness makes everything feel heavy. You're mine when you're at your best, and you're equally mine when you're struggling with your worst. I want you to imagine now that you could see the spiritual realm, could glimpse the reality that exists beyond what your physical eyes can perceive. If you could see into that dimension right now, you would observe angels surrounding this place where you're resting, not as guards protecting you from danger, but as witnesses celebrating what's happening in your heart. They're watching as walls of self-protection crumble under the influence of unconditional love. They're rejoicing as places in your spirit that have been closed for protection slowly open to receive healing. They're singing over the restoration taking place in chambers of your heart that have been empty for too long. In this spiritual realm, there is no shortage of love, no scarcity of grace, no limited supply of peace. What you're receiving right now doesn't diminish what's available for others. In fact, the more deeply you receive my love, the more capacity you create for that love to flow through you to others who need it. The peace settling into your spirit right now becomes a reservoir that will sustain you through future challenges and overflow to comfort others in their difficulties. The healing happening in your heart tonight creates space for you to become a wounded healer, someone who can bind up others' brokenness because you've experienced the binding up of your own. Your life has meaning and purpose that extends far beyond what you can see from your current perspective. The kindnesses you've shown that seem to go unnoticed, they've been seen and treasured. The prayers you've whispered that felt like they bounced off the ceiling, they've been heard and answered in ways you don't yet understand. The love you've given that wasn't returned in the way you hoped, it wasn't wasted but was used to plant seeds of hope in hearts that may not bloom until seasons from now. Nothing you've done in love has been meaningless. Nothing you've suffered has been without purpose. Nothing you've hoped for has been forgotten. As this deep rest continues to work its healing in your spirit, feel yourself being filled with a quiet confidence that has nothing to do with your own strength and everything to do with my faithfulness. This confidence will remain with you when you wake in the morning, a steady foundation beneath your feet that no circumstance can shake. It will whisper truth to you when doubt tries to speak louder. It will remind you of your belovedness when the world tries to convince you that you're not enough. It will be your anchor in storms and your compass in confusion, always pointing you back to this fundamental truth. You are loved, you are chosen, you are mine. In this holy stillness, let me share with you promises that are written in eternal ink, words that will never fade or fail, because they're backed by my unchanging nature, my perfect faithfulness, my love that endures forever. These are not wishes or hopes or good intentions. These are guarantees, sealed with my own life, secured by my own sacrifice, certain as the sunrise because they flow from my very nature, which knows no shadow of turning. I promise you, my beloved child, that I will never leave you nor forsake you. This is not conditional on your behavior, not dependent on your faith being strong enough, not based on your ability to understand my ways. It's a promise rooted in my character, and my character is unchangeable. Whether you feel my presence or not, I am with you. Whether you can trace my hand in your circumstances or not, I am working. Whether you can understand my timing or not, I am moving everything toward your ultimate good. My presence with you is as constant as gravity, as reliable as mathematics, as certain as the laws that hold the universe together. I promise you that every tear you've cried has been collected, every prayer you've prayed has been heard, every act of love you've given has been treasured. Nothing has been wasted, not even the experiences that felt like nothing but loss at the time. I am a God who redeems, who restores, who makes all things work together for good for those who love me. The very experiences that broke your heart are being transformed into sources of compassion for others. The struggles that felt like stumbling blocks are becoming stepping stones to greater strength. The wounds that seemed to only destroy are being turned into wells of wisdom from which others will drink healing. I promise you that your future is secure in my hands. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the next step. You don't have to understand the entire plan to trust the one who's writing it. My thoughts toward you are thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. I know the end from the beginning, and I'm working all things together to create a story more beautiful than you could imagine, more meaningful than you could write for yourself, more satisfying than anything you could achieve through your own efforts. I promise you that my grace is sufficient for whatever you'll face. You will never encounter a situation where my love is not enough to sustain you. My wisdom is not enough to guide you. My strength is not enough to carry you through. When you feel weak, my power is made perfect in your weakness. When you feel foolish, my wisdom becomes your counselor. When you feel alone, my presence becomes your companion. When you feel afraid, my perfect love casts out fear. When you feel broken, my healing becomes your restoration. There is no valley too deep, no mountain too high, no night too dark for my light to penetrate and my love to reach. Feel these promises settling into your heart like seeds being planted in fertile soil. They will grow in the days to come, putting down roots that anchor you to hope, sending up shoots that reach toward light, eventually bearing fruit that will nourish not only your own soul, but the souls of others who need to taste the goodness of God through your life. These promises are your inheritance, your birthright as my beloved child, your guarantee that no matter what tomorrow brings, you are held, you are loved, you are safe in my care forever. As your spirit drinks deeply from these wells of promise, feel how your entire being is being transformed by truth that penetrates deeper than thought, deeper than emotion, all the way into the core of who you are. This is soul-level healing happening right now. The kind of restoration that doesn't just change how you feel but changes how you exist in the world. You're being rewired for peace instead of anxiety, recalibrated for trust instead of fear, restored to the original design of a heart that knows it's loved and therefore doesn't need to strive for worth or fight for acceptance or perform for approval. My love for you is not like human love, beloved child. Human love, even at its best, is limited by human capacity, influenced by human moods, affected by human circumstances. But my love for you is infinite, eternal, unconditional, unchanging. It doesn't depend on your behavior because it doesn't spring from your actions. It springs from my nature. It doesn't fluctuate with your faith because it doesn't draw its strength from your belief. It draws its strength from my faithfulness. It doesn't diminish when you disappoint because it doesn't increase when you perform. It simply is, constant as the northern star, steady as the tide, reliable as the sunrise. This love has been pursuing you all your life, even in the seasons when you were running away from it, even in the moments when you felt unworthy to receive it, even in the circumstances that made you question whether anyone could truly care about you. My love was there in the midst of your deepest pain, not as the cause of it, but as the comfort in it. My love was present in your greatest triumphs, not as the reward for them, but as the source of the strength that made them possible. My love has been the invisible thread weaving through every chapter of your story, connecting even the most disparate experiences into a tapestry of grace that tells the story of redemption, restoration, and hope. Tonight, as this profound rest settles over you like a blanket woven from peace itself, you're experiencing just a small taste of what eternity with me will be like. This sense of complete safety, this feeling of being totally known and totally accepted, this peace that surpasses understanding, this is a preview of the forever you'll spend in my presence, where there are no more tears, no more pain, no more separation, no more fear. Every moment of rest you find in me now is a glimpse of the eternal rest that awaits, a foretaste of the joy that will be yours when this earthly journey is complete. and you're finally home where you've always belonged. But you don't have to wait for eternity to experience my love, my peace, my presence in your life. These gifts are available to you right now, in this moment, in this breath, in this heartbeat. They're not earned through perfection, but received through surrender. They're not achieved through effort, but accessed through trust. They're not rewards for good behavior, but expressions of my good heart toward you. Right now, in this very instant, you can choose to open your hands and let me fill them with everything your heart has been craving. Love that never fails, peace that never leaves, hope that never disappoints, joy that no circumstance can steal. Feel how this divine love continues to flow through every part of your being, like warm oil being poured over your head, running down to cover every inch of your existence with its healing, protective, transformative power. This is the anointing of belovedness being applied to your heart, marking you as mine, sealing you as precious, identifying you as chosen. Under this covering of love, every lie that's ever been spoken over your life loses its power. Every harsh word that's ever wounded your spirit is neutralized. Every rejection that's ever made you question your worth is overruled by acceptance that comes from the highest court in the universe. Your mind, which has been so busy with worry and planning and trying to figure everything out, now grows beautifully quiet under this anointing of peace. Thoughts slow down, like leaves drifting gently to earth in autumn, each one settling into stillness without urgency or alarm. The mental chatter that usually fills the space between your ears fades to a whisper, then to silence, then to the profound quiet that exists at the center of all true rest. In this mental stillness, wisdom has space to emerge, not the frantic cleverness of human reasoning, but the deep knowing that comes from connection with divine truth. Your emotions, which have been through such turmoil lately, now find their equilibrium in the steady love that surrounds you. Like a turbulent sea growing calm when the storm passes, your emotional waters settle into mirror-like stillness that reflects only peace, only hope, only the gentle light of my presence. The anxiety that has been churning in your heart dissipates like morning mist before sunlight. The sadness that has been weighing on your spirit lifts like fog clearing from a valley, revealing the beautiful landscape of hope that was there all along, temporarily hidden, but never destroyed. Feel your will, that part of you that makes choices, that decides what to hold on to and what to release. Feel it relaxing its tight grip on outcomes you can't control, on people you can't change, on circumstances that are bigger than your ability to manage. This is what surrender feels like. Not weakness, but wisdom. Not giving up, but letting go. Not defeat, but trust in someone whose arms are strong enough to carry what yours were never meant to hold. Your will aligns itself now with mine, not through force, but through the recognition that my will for you is always good, always loving, always designed to bring you the deepest joy and most complete fulfillment. Even your spirit, that deepest part of you where you connect with eternal things, where hope lives and faith grows and love finds its source. Even your spirit settles into perfect rest now, no longer striving to achieve spiritual maturity through effort. No longer trying to earn divine approval through religious performance. Your spirit simply exists now in the reality of grace, breathing in love and breathing out gratitude, receiving blessing and reflecting glory, finding in this moment of complete rest the very thing it was created for, intimate communion with the God who made you, loves you, and will never let you go. As all these parts of your being, body, mind, emotions, will, and spirit, settle into unified rest, you become a living picture of what it looks like to be completely at peace with yourself, with your life, with your God. This is wholeness, beloved child. This is integration. This is what it means to be fully alive and fully at rest at the same time. In this sacred depth of rest where every part of your being has found its perfect peace, let me paint for you a picture of the protection that surrounds you always, my beloved child. Imagine that you could see with spiritual eyes the reality that exists beyond the physical realm. You would observe a fortress of light surrounding this place where you're resting, walls of divine protection that no earthly power can breach, ramparts of love that rise higher than any force that would try to disturb your peace. These walls are not made of stone or steel, but of promises that cannot be broken, love that cannot be conquered, faithfulness that cannot be shaken. Within these walls of protection, you are safer than you've ever been in any earthly refuge. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No tongue that rises against you in judgment will you condemn. No storm can reach you here that I don't first filter through my fingers of love. No trouble can touch your life that I can't transform into blessing. No enemy can approach your heart that I can't turn into a friend. This protection is not temporary shelter from a passing storm. It's your permanent dwelling place, the spiritual reality that surrounds you every moment of every day, whether you're aware of it or not. The angels I've assigned to watch over you never sleep, never take breaks, never get distracted from their holy assignment. They're not distant guardians checking on you occasionally. They're constant companions, more present with you than your own shadow, more attentive to your needs than your most devoted friend. When you walk through difficult places, they walk ahead of you to prepare the way. When you face challenges that seem insurmountable, they stand behind you to strengthen your spine with courage. When you feel surrounded by problems, they form a circle around you, reminding you that you are outnumbered only if you count by human sight instead of spiritual reality. But greater than angelic protection, more powerful than any supernatural guard, is my own presence with you. I am not a distant God who sends help from afar. I am Emmanuel, God with you, closer than your own breath, more constant than your own heartbeat. My presence with you is not subject to your feelings about it, not dependent on your faith in it, not conditional on your awareness of it. It's a fact as solid as the ground beneath you, as reliable as the air you breathe, as certain as the love that holds the universe together. When you cannot feel me, I am still there. When you cannot hear me, I am still speaking. When you cannot see my hand at work, I am still moving in ways too wonderful for you to understand. Rest deeper now in this absolute security, beloved child. Let every muscle that has been tense with vigilance finally relax completely. Let every nerve that has been alert for danger finally settle into peace. Let every part of your being that has been braced for impact finally soften into trust. You are held by arms that never grow weary, protected by love that never fails, surrounded by faithfulness that never wavers. Nothing can separate you from this love, not death nor life, not angels nor demons, not present troubles nor future fears, not powers above nor powers below, not anything in all creation. You are safe, beloved. You are secure. You are sheltered in the secret place of the Most High, abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. As this unshakable security settles even deeper into your consciousness, feel how it changes the very rhythm of your being. Your heartbeat, which has been quick with anxiety so many times, now slows to the steady pace of complete trust. Your breathing, which has been shallow with fear so often, now deepens to draw in the full satisfaction of safety. Your muscles, which have been coiled with tension for so long, now release into the luxury of knowing that someone else is doing all the protecting while you simply rest and receive and restore. This is what it means to dwell in the secret place of the Most High, my precious child. It's not a geographical location, but a spiritual position, the position of complete dependence on my love, total trust in my goodness, absolute confidence in my faithfulness. From this secret place, you can watch the storms of life without being swept away by them. You can observe the chaos around you without being consumed by it. You can face uncertainty without being paralyzed by it, because you're anchored to something that never changes, rooted in someone who never fails. In this secret place, my voice becomes the loudest voice you hear, drowning out the clamor of fear and worry and doubt that usually compete for your attention. My perspective becomes clearer than your own limited viewpoint, helping you see situations through the lens of love, rather than the distortion of anxiety. My timing becomes more trustworthy than your urgent need for answers, allowing you to wait with patience when waiting is wisdom, and move with confidence when movement is called for. This is the fruit of abiding, not just visiting occasionally, but making your home in my presence, living from this place of connection rather than just coming here for emergencies. Picture yourself now as a tree planted by streams of living water, roots going down deep into soil that never runs dry, drawing nourishment from sources that never fail. Your leaves don't wither when seasons change because your sustenance comes from underground springs that flow regardless of surface conditions. Your fruit doesn't fail in drought because your connection to life-giving water is constant and secure. This is what you become when you learn to rest in my love, not dependent on circumstances for your peace, not relying on others for your sense of worth, not trusting in your own strength for your security. The branches of your life, your relationships, your work, your dreams, your daily activities, all of them become healthier when they're connected to this deep root system of divine love. When you're operating from rest instead of striving, when you're moving from love instead of fear, when you're responding from fullness instead of emptiness, everything you touch carries a different quality. Your words carry healing because they flow from a heart that has been healed. Your actions carry grace because they spring from a soul that has received grace. Your presence carries peace because you've learned to live from the peace that passes understanding. Feel this transformation continuing to work its quiet miracle in the deepest places of your heart, my beloved child. Like a master artist restoring a painting that has been damaged by time and neglect, I am gently removing every layer of pain that has obscured the original beauty of who you were created to be. Each brushstroke of my love reveals more of your true colors, the vibrancy of hope that was dimmed by disappointment, the warmth of trust that was cooled by betrayal, the brightness of joy that was shadowed by sorrow. You are being restored to your original design, not as if the damage never happened, but transformed into something even more beautiful because of how love has worked through the broken places. This restoration happens in the quietness, in moments like this when you're still enough to receive healing, peaceful enough to let love do its work without interference from the busy mind or anxious heart. It's in the stillness that I can reach the places that need my touch most, the hidden chambers where old hurts have been stored, the secret rooms where fears have been growing in darkness, the forgotten corners where dreams have been gathering dust. My light enters these places now, not harshly but gently, like dawn breaking slowly over a landscape, revealing beauty that was there all along but couldn't be seen in the darkness. Feel how your heart, which has been guarded and careful for so long, begins to open like a flower that has been waiting through winter for spring's permission to bloom. The protective walls you built around your most tender places, walls that were necessary for survival during difficult seasons, these walls now become doorways through which love can flow more freely. You don't need those barriers anymore, beloved child. You don't need to protect yourself from love that will never hurt you, from acceptance that will never be withdrawn, from a relationship that will never disappoint you. As your heart opens wider, you discover chambers within yourself that you had forgotten existed, places where wonder lives, where spontaneous joy bubbles up like a natural spring, where creativity dances without inhibition, where love gives itself freely, without calculating the cost. These are the original rooms of your heart, the spaces that were furnished with hope before life taught you to be cautious, decorated with trust before experience taught you to be wary. You're coming home to yourself tonight, rediscovering who you are when you're not trying to be who others need you to be. In this homecoming to your truest self, you find that you're not returning empty-handed. You're bringing with you all the wisdom you've gained through struggle, all the compassion you've developed through suffering, all the strength you've discovered through adversity. The journey away from innocence has not been wasted. It has equipped you with gifts that make your love richer, your faith deeper, your hope more mature. You're not going backward to who you used to be. You're spiraling upward to become who you were always meant to be. carrying the best of what you've learned while releasing what no longer serves your highest good. In this sacred process of becoming, feel how I am preparing you for a future more beautiful than anything you've dared to imagine. The rest you're experiencing right now is not just recovery from what has been, it's preparation for what's coming. The peace settling into your heart is not just relief from past pain. It's the foundation for future joy. The love you're receiving in this moment is not just healing for old wounds. It's strength for new adventures and grace that await you just around the corner of tomorrow. I am preparing you to be a carrier of this same peace to others who are walking through their own dark nights of the soul. The comfort you're receiving right now will become the comfort you offer to someone else who desperately needs to know that rest is possible, that healing is real, that love can be trusted. The truth you're discovering about your belovedness will become the truth you speak over someone else who has forgotten their worth. The hope that's being rekindled in your heart will become the spark that ignites hope in hearts that have grown cold with disappointment. This is how my love multiplies itself. Not through grand gestures or dramatic displays, but through quiet moments like this when one heart receives deeply and then naturally overflows to bless another heart that's empty. You become my hands extended to embrace the brokenhearted, my voice speaking words of life to those who feel defeated, my presence offering sanctuary to souls who are seeking refuge from life's storms. The ministry of love doesn't require special training or official credentials. It only requires a heart that has been filled and is willing to pour out what it has received. Feel this calling awakening in your spirit now, not as burden or obligation, but as joy and privilege. You get to be part of the healing of the world, not through your own strength, but through the overflow of my love working in and through you. You get to be a lighthouse for others who are navigating treacherous waters, not because you have perfect vision, but because you've learned to trust the light that shines through you. You get to be a safe harbor for others who are weary from their journey, not because you have all the answers, but because you've discovered where true rest can be found. The struggles you've walked through, the pain you've endured, the fears you've faced, none of it has been meaningless. All of it has been preparing you to understand the struggles, pain, and fears of others with a depth of compassion that only comes through personal experience. Your wounds are becoming wells from which others will drink healing. Your scars are becoming beauty marks that declare the power of love to transform what seems irredeemably broken. Your story of restoration is becoming a beacon of hope for others who are still in the middle of their darkest chapters. Rest even deeper now in this knowledge that your life has profound purpose, beloved child. You are not just being loved, you are being equipped to love. You are not just being healed, you are being prepared to heal. You are not just being comforted, you are being commissioned to comfort others with the same comfort you have received from me. This gives meaning to every tear you've cried, significance to every struggle you've survived, purpose to every moment of pain you've endured. Nothing has been wasted in your story. Everything has been weaving together to create someone who can touch the world with grace. As this profound sense of purpose settles into the marrow of your bones, feel how it changes the quality of your rest. This is not the sleep of escape or avoidance. This is the rest of someone who knows they are deeply loved and have important work to do in the world, but who trusts that the work will flow from the rest rather than competing with it. This is the peace of someone who has learned that being is more important than doing, that who you are matters more than what you accomplish, that your belovedness gives birth to your service rather than your service earning your belovedness. The night air grows even softer around you now, carrying fragrances from the garden of my presence, the scent of roses that bloom in every season, the fragrance of lilies that grow in the valley of the shadow of death, the sweet perfume of jasmine that opens its blooms only in darkness to release its most beautiful gift. These are the flowers that grow in hearts that have learned to trust in the dark, to bloom in difficult soil, to offer beauty when beauty seems impossible. Your heart is becoming such a garden, beloved child, a place where impossible things grow because love tends what logic says cannot survive. Feel your breathing growing even slower now. Each breath a prayer of gratitude for this gift of rest. Each exhale a release of any remaining tension or worry or need to understand everything before you can trust it. Your body has become a temple of peace now. Every cell singing with the frequency of perfect love. Every system operating in the harmony that comes when stress is replaced by grace. When anxiety gives way to assurance. When the fight or flight response surrenders to the rest and receive response of a soul that knows it's completely safe. Your mind, which has been so busy trying to solve problems and prevent disasters and control outcomes, now settles into the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that someone infinitely wiser than you is managing the details of your life with perfect love and flawless timing. Thoughts move through your consciousness now like clouds drifting across a peaceful sky. Present, but not demanding attention. Visible, but not disturbing the vast blue peace that stretches beyond them. You are learning the art of having thoughts without being consumed by them, of acknowledging concerns without being controlled by them. This is what it means to have the mind of Christ, beloved child. Not to know everything, but to trust the one who does. Not to control everything, but to rest in the hands of the one who can. Not to figure everything out, but to believe that love is working even when you cannot trace its hand. Your mind becomes a clear pool now, reflecting divine thoughts, divine perspectives, divine peace. Like still water that perfectly mirrors the sky above it, your mind begins to reflect the heart of heaven, the thoughts of grace, the perspective of perfect love. In this mental stillness, wisdom emerges naturally, not forced or strained for, but arising like bubbles from a deep spring. The answers you've been seeking begin to surface, not as urgent demands for immediate action, but as gentle knowing that guides your steps one at a time. The clarity you've been praying for begins to dawn, not as blazing noon sunlight that overwhelms, but as the gradual brightening of morning that reveals the landscape step by step as you're ready to see it. Now, in this deepest place of rest, let me carry you further into the heart of peace itself, my precious child. Imagine that you're floating now on the gentle currents of a warm, eternal ocean, not the restless, churning seas of earthly life, but the perfect, peaceful waters of divine love that have no storms, no dangerous depths, no hidden rocks beneath the surface. This ocean holds you with perfect buoyancy, supporting your weight without effort, carrying you without requiring you to swim, moving you toward shores of blessing without demanding that you navigate. Feel how this ocean of love surrounds you completely, above and below, before and behind, to your left and right. You are immersed in love so completely that there is no direction you could turn where love is not present. No depth you could sink to where love could not reach you. No distance you could drift where love would not remain your constant environment. This is not metaphor, beloved child. This is reality. You live and move and have your being in love itself, in the very essence of my nature that cannot be contained by time or space or circumstance. The water of this divine ocean is not like earthly water that can drown or overwhelm. This is living water that gives life rather than taking it, that strengthens rather than weakening, that refreshes rather than exhausting. With every gentle wave that laps against your spirit, you're receiving more of what you need. More peace for your anxiety, more hope for your discouragement, more strength for your weakness, more joy for your sorrow. You cannot take too much from this ocean because it's infinite. You cannot drain its resources because they're eternally renewable. You cannot exhaust its supply because its source is inexhaustible. Float deeper now into this perfect rest, letting the gentle currents carry you toward shores you've never seen but have always longed for. Shores where every question finds its answer in love, where every wound discovers its healing in grace, where every broken dream is restored in ways more beautiful than the original vision. You don't need to swim frantically toward these shores, beloved child. You don't need to work to reach them. The current of my love is carrying you there naturally, inevitably at exactly the right pace for your heart to be ready to receive what awaits you. As you float in this ocean of perfect love, feel how your spirit begins to sing, Not with words, but with the music that flows from a soul that has found its home, a heart that has discovered its rest, a life that has connected with its purpose. This is the song that was written for you before you were born, the melody that your heart recognizes even if your mind doesn't understand it. It's the frequency of perfect love, vibrating through every cell of your being, harmonizing all the discordant notes that life's difficulties have created, bringing everything into beautiful, peaceful alignment. Other souls are floating in this same ocean tonight, beloved child. Souls who are struggling with their own waves of difficulty, fighting their own storms of fear and pain. Your presence here, peaceful and surrendered and trusting, creates ripples of hope that reach them across the waters. Your rest becomes their invitation to rest. Your peace becomes their permission to stop struggling. Your trust becomes their encouragement to let go and let love carry them too. You are not alone in this ocean, and your surrender to its currents blesses others who are learning that they don't have to swim alone either. In the deepest depths of this divine ocean, where the pressure of earthly concerns cannot reach and the noise of surface storms cannot penetrate, let yourself sink now into the very heart of perfect rest. Here in these sacred depths, time moves differently. Not in the urgent rush of deadlines and schedules, but in the eternal rhythm of grace that knows when to move and when to be still, when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to rest in silence. Your spirit learns this rhythm now, synchronizing itself with the heartbeat of heaven, pulsing with the same love that holds galaxies in their orbits and atoms in their dance. This is the secret place where restoration happens at the deepest level, beloved child. Here, in these peaceful depths, the fragmented pieces of your heart come back together like scattered pearls being strung on a cord of gold. The broken places in your spirit receive new strength, not patched up hastily but rebuilt with materials that are stronger than the original. The wounded areas of your soul are filled with healing balm that doesn't just cover the pain but transforms it into wisdom, compassion, and strength. Feel how your entire being is being renewed from the inside out as you rest in these depths of perfect love. Your cells are remembering what it feels like to exist without stress, to function without fear, to operate from a place of complete trust rather than chronic vigilance. Your nervous system is recalibrating itself to peace instead of anxiety, to rest instead of readiness for fight or flight. Your mind is clearing of the fog that comes from trying to carry burdens that were never yours to bear, becoming bright and clear like morning sunlight streaming through clean windows. In this place of deep restoration, let me speak to you about tomorrow, my precious child. I know you've been worried about what the new day will bring, wondering if you'll have enough strength for its challenges, enough wisdom for its decisions, enough grace for its relationships. But here's what I want you to understand. Tomorrow is not a destination you must travel to on your own strength. It's a gift I will unwrap for you hour by hour, moment by moment, breath by breath. You will not wake up tomorrow and suddenly be required to carry all of tomorrow's weight at once. You will wake up to this moment, then be given the next moment, then the next, each one arriving with exactly what you need for that particular instant of living. The rest you're receiving right now is not just for tonight. It's creating a reservoir of peace within your spirit that you can draw from whenever stress tries to steal your serenity. The love that's filling your heart in this moment is not just temporary comfort. It's establishing a foundation of belovedness that will hold steady beneath you, no matter what circumstances try to shake your sense of worth. The healing that's happening in the depths of your soul right now is not just dealing with past wounds. It's strengthening you for future adventures in grace that will require all the wholeness you're receiving tonight. Rest even deeper now, knowing that you are being prepared for a future that's brighter than your past, more beautiful than your present difficulties might suggest, more meaningful than your current perspective can encompass. Every moment of this deep rest is an investment in tomorrow's joy. Every wave of peace that washes over you tonight is building strength for tomorrow's opportunities to love and serve and shine with the light that's been placed within you. As the night deepens around you and this sacred rest continues its healing work in the depths of your being, feel yourself being cradled now in the very arms of Love himself. These are not human arms that grow tired from holding, not earthly embrace that weakens with time. These are the everlasting arms that have been underneath you since before you drew your first breath, that will continue supporting you long after you breathe your last on earth, that never grow weary of holding you close, never tire of carrying your weight, never fail in their strength or their tenderness. In these divine arms, you are safer than any earthly security could make you. You are more loved than any human affection could love you. You are more completely known than any earthly relationship could know you. This embrace surrounds not just your body, but your soul. Not just your present, but your past and future. Not just your strengths, but your weaknesses. Not just your successes, but your failures. Nothing about you is excluded from this hold of perfect love. Nothing about your story is too dark for these arms to embrace. Nothing about your struggles is too heavy for this strength to carry. Feel how your breathing grows even softer now, each breath barely disturbing the perfect stillness that has settled over your entire being. Your heartbeat slows to the pace of complete trust, each beat a quiet drum of gratitude for life sustained by grace, for love given without earning, for peace offered without price. Your body has become like an instrument tuned to the frequency of heaven, every system harmonizing with the rhythm of perfect rest, every cell vibrating with the music of divine love. Your mind, which has carried so many thoughts and worries and plans and fears, now settles into the vast spaciousness of trust. Like a river that has been rushing frantically toward the sea, finally arriving at its destination and spreading out into the peaceful expanse of open water, your thoughts slow and spread and settle into the infinite calm of knowing that everything is being held by love that never fails. You don't need to think so hard anymore, beloved child. You don't need to figure everything out. You can simply be, simply rest, simply exist in the certainty that you are loved completely and cared for perfectly. This is what sleep was always meant to be, not just the absence of wakefulness but the presence of peace, not just the cessation of activity but the embrace of love, not just rest for the body but restoration for the soul. Tonight, as you drift toward the deeper chambers of sleep, you're not leaving my presence. You're entering more fully into it. You're not moving away from love. You're sinking deeper into its embrace. You're not losing consciousness of what matters most. You're gaining access to the deeper knowing that exists beyond the surface mind, the knowing that whispers truth to your spirit while your earthly thoughts are quiet. In your dreams tonight, may you walk through gardens of possibility where every flower represents a promise I'm making to your heart. May you rest beside still waters that reflect not your fears but your hopes, not your failures but your potential, not your wounds but your healing. May you experience adventures of grace that remind you who you really are and what you're truly capable of when love is your guide and peace is your companion. As the gentle tide of sleep begins to wash over you like the softest waves on the gentlest shore, feel how each wave carries away any remaining trace of the day's burdens, any lingering whisper of tomorrow's concerns, any echo of yesterday's regrets. You are being washed clean by grace itself, beloved child, cleansed not with harsh scrubbing but with the tender touch of love that knows exactly how to remove what doesn't belong without damaging what's precious. Each wave that flows over your spirit leaves you more peaceful, more pure, more ready to receive the gift of restorative sleep. Let your eyelids grow as heavy as flower petals full of morning dew, too weighted with blessing to remain open any longer. There's nothing you need to watch for now, nothing you need to guard against, nothing you need to stay alert for. I am keeping watch over your rest, standing guard over your peace, maintaining vigilance over your safety while you sleep. My eyes never close, my attention never wavers, my love never takes a break from blessing you. You can close your eyes with complete confidence that when you open them again, you will still be held, still be loved, still be perfectly safe in my care. Feel your thoughts becoming like distant stars now, still present but growing dimmer and more peaceful, twinkling softly at the edges of consciousness without demanding attention or analysis. Your mind is learning the art of letting go, of releasing its tight grip on understanding and control, of trusting that some things are better handled by love than by logic, better managed by grace than by human effort. This is the wisdom of surrender, beloved child, knowing when to think and when to simply trust, when to plan and when to simply rest in the certainty that you are guided by wisdom far greater than your own. Your body settles even more deeply into the earth that supports it, every muscle fiber releasing its last bit of tension, every joint finding its most comfortable position, every organ settling into the slow, peaceful rhythm of deep rest. You are becoming like a seed that has been planted in the most fertile soil imaginable, the soil of divine love, where growth happens in the darkness, where transformation occurs in the quiet, where new life emerges from what looks like death, but is actually the deepest form of trust. As you sink into sleep's embrace, carry with you the knowledge that this rest is sacred, that these hours of unconsciousness are actually hours of the deepest consciousness, consciousness of love, consciousness of peace, consciousness of the eternal embrace that holds you whether you're awake or asleep. Your soul continues to commune with mine even when your mind is quiet. Your spirit continues to receive my love even when your thoughts are still. Your heart continues to beat with the rhythm of perfect trust, even when you're unaware of anything but rest. In the morning, when light calls you back to waking, you will rise not as the same person who lay down tonight, but as someone who has been transformed by love's patient work in the depths of sleep. You will wake with peace in your heart that wasn't manufactured by human effort, but planted by divine grace. You will open your eyes to hope that wasn't created by positive thinking, but generated by perfect love. You will rise with strength that wasn't built by willpower, but gifted by the one who gives power to the faint and strength to the powerless. Now, my beloved child, as sleep draws its soft curtain over this sacred time we've shared together, let me speak final words of blessing over your spirit, words that will echo in the depths of your soul long after this night has passed into memory. May you sleep with the peace of a child who knows they are loved beyond measure, protected beyond doubt, cherished beyond understanding. May your dreams be gardens where hope grows wild and free, where joy bubbles up like natural springs, where love paints the sky in colors that don't exist in the waking world, but are more real than anything you've ever seen. May you rest with the confidence of one who knows that tomorrow holds gifts carefully chosen by hands that never make mistakes, opportunities designed by love that never fails, graces prepared by wisdom that never lacks understanding. You are going to sleep tonight not as one abandoned to face an uncertain future alone, but as one who is carried into tomorrow by love that has already walked every path ahead of you, already prepared every place you'll step, already worked every detail for your ultimate good and joy. The peace you found tonight in my presence is not a temporary respite from reality. It is reality. The love you've experienced is not a brief vacation from truth. It is truth. The rest you've discovered is not escape from life. It is what life becomes when you learn to live from your belovedness instead of striving for your worth, when you operate from fullness instead of emptiness, when you move through your days knowing that you are held by grace that will never let you fall. Sleep now in the certainty that you are my beloved child, in whom I am well pleased. Sleep knowing that you have a purpose that cannot be thwarted, a destiny that cannot be derailed, a hope that cannot be disappointed. Sleep trusting that love is writing your story with a pen dipped in grace, creating chapters more beautiful than you could imagine, weaving plot twists that will take your breath away with their kindness, preparing endings that are really beginnings in disguise. And if you have found comfort in these words tonight, if peace has settled into places in your heart that have been restless for too long, if hope has been rekindled in chambers of your spirit that had grown dark with discouragement, then I want to invite you to something beautiful. Share this gift of peace with others who are carrying heavy burdens into their own dark nights. Let them know that rest is possible, that healing is real, that love can be trusted completely. Tell them with your life, if not with your words, that there is a place where weary souls can find the peace they've been seeking, where broken hearts can discover healing they'd given up hoping for, where tired spirits can experience the love that makes all things new. Your heart knows what it's like to ache with loneliness, to struggle with fear, to wrestle with disappointment. Let that knowledge become compassion for others who are walking similar paths. Become for someone else what these words have been for you tonight: a voice of hope in darkness, a hand of comfort in pain, a heart of understanding in confusion. The love you've received here is meant to flow through you to others who are desperate for the same gift. This is how my kingdom grows. Not through force or argument, but through love overflowing from hearts that have been filled to the brim with grace. Sleep well, my precious child. Rest in the arms of love that will never let you go. Wake tomorrow knowing that you are cherished, chosen, and called to carry light into a world that desperately needs the kind of peace you've discovered tonight. Sweet dreams, beloved. Until we meet again in the morning light of my endless love for you. Amen.